What's going on, everybody? The boys of the Footy Fans Podcast is back. Andrew, Santo, and Joe. As always, we missed a lot of time since our last podcast was produced and aired. Last one coming on, what is that? The 3rd?
April 3rd.
April 3rd. So yeah, we missed a bunch of stuff. So get ready for a 6-hour podcast as we break down everything that happened since April 3rd of this year. Champions League, EPL, the table really shaping up. The battle for Europe really being inconsistent, and FA Cup matches that took place over the past weekend. Everything and more to talk about. Tonight.
Yeah, this is probably the biggest buildup we've had just because of the amount of stuff that's happened since we last talked.
Yeah.
Just with our schedules, everything going on, just had trouble meeting, but I do kind of, in one way, obviously it's fun to just meet all the time, but when we have all this buildup, it just makes so many interesting conversations, especially with what happened in Champions League. So we're gonna dive into that because we had some ridiculous games, some craziness that we haven't seen in a long time happen on the soccer field.
Yeah.
So we got quite a bit to talk about. So I'm excited to get into it.
Where are we gonna start?
Okay, so I think we'll end the Champions League talk with Man City Atletico. So we'll end with that one. So let's just start off the bat with my Chelsea boys. They dropped the first leg to Real Madrid 3-1 at home at Stamford Bridge. Just a poor performance from Chelsea. Benzema just showing up again and proving that even when Ronaldo was there at Real Madrid, I think it was still Benzema's team. Even back then, Benzema was obviously a little bit younger, and he was with the side a lot longer. But now that Ronaldo's gone, he's clearly proven and solidified that he is the top dog.
Yeah.
For Los Blancos, he's just crazy.
Yeah.
And for him to get, I think it was a hat trick that game, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, a hat trick in the game one in leg one against Chelsea. A couple gifts, you could say, but also a couple crazy finishes on his part. From a Chelsea standpoint, I mean, they just didn't show up. And from them to put 20 shots and only 5 on target, that kind of just goes to show about how they've, really missed clinical finishing this season. And I mean, it can make it the talking point of all time, saying how Lukaku just hasn't shown up for them this year, and he hasn't given the impact that he thought he was going to bring for Chelsea when he came back. I mean, he's not even starting matches anymore. This is the biggest match that they've had basically all season up to this point. I mean, it's a quarterfinal of the Champions League against Real Madrid of all teams. You would want Lukaku to be the number one guy on the sheet, but Tuchel is still hesitant to make that decision, and he has to come on as a substitute later on this game. But when he came on, I mean, it was already curtains closed,
Yeah.
For them to be down, for them to give up 3 goals by the 46th minute, Kai Havertz pulling one back in the 40th to make it a little bit more doable for the second half. But for Lukaku to come in and not really show much of an impact, I mean, again, it just goes to show he's just not been there for the team, and it's such a disappointment season for him.
Yeah. Yeah, watching I think most of this game, it was really poor from Chelsea. And coming in as a defending champs, obviously you would expect more, but it just kind of highlights where they're at in their season right now, I think. But credit to Real Madrid, they've obviously had their struggles in recent times, and they just came and showed why they're the team that's won Champions League as many times as they had. So and credit to Benzema, he's coming in and just putting in a really good performance in the form of his life right now at his age. It's really good to see.
And low key too, Luka Modric is so sick.
Especially what happened in the second leg.
We'll get to him second leg. Second leg we'll get to Modric, but I just gotta put that in just to say he's 36 years old and he's still so good.
Yeah, he when he made his move from Tottenham to Real Madrid, my first thought, I mean, this was years ago when I think I obviously knew a lot less about footy. My first instinct was really? Modric's going to fit into Real Madrid? And, he's their guy in the midfield in a lot of ways, right? He's their maestro, really.
It just goes to show that talent just prevails. If you're just the shining star of one team and you slot into another team that has other shining stars, you find your home Because at Tottenham, he was clearly like the biggest star like on that team. I mean, they had Gareth Bale at that time too, I think. Kind of like Bale was like just emerging as Modric was leaving.
Yeah.
But for Modric at Tottenham, he was like the standout. And then he gets like slotted into Real Madrid. And like kind of like what you said, Santi, I didn't know if he was going to fit with them that well because there were so many other superstars around him. But we saw like right away. It took maybe 1 or 2 seasons for him to really solidify himself as like their main, their talisman, their maestro in the center of the midfield. And he's been able to do it now for almost a decade, it seems like.
Yeah.
Just so consistent. Yeah, he's just filthy. I mean, well, again, we'll get him second leg. We'll say more about him, but
Yeah.
yeah, he's really good.
Yeah, I mean, well, even to touch on the second leg, I think Chelsea obviously didn't do themselves any favors with this first leg because I would say that the tie was lost in the first leg. Because it to go to the second leg, Chelsea played great.
This was Chelsea's best game of the season.
Yeah, the first half in particular, they were just. I was like, oh, I think Chelsea, if they can score like early, they'll have a chance, and they did. And then they got that one in the 51st minute, but
they had a 3-0 lead.
Yeah,
like they did everything they had to do.
They did. I thought for sure. I was like, oh, like Chelsea's got one hand in the next round, right? But then obviously the quality of Modric. To put in that outside of the boot, that's just the difference right there, and it's just so strange. Not strange, but like I don't see that enough from English teams, oddly enough. Like in
that,
the Champions League,
that class,
just that level of class, like maybe De Bruyne, but just that level, like I don't see it as often as I would like from English teams. You got City, aside from City and De Bruyne, but there's really no other midfielders that are really like maestros, I would say, outside of like guys like, the old guys like Pirlo, now Modric, Cruz.
I know. And like that center midfield position is so sought after for teams too.
Yeah.
And I think we talked about it many podcasts ago. We're trying to build like a really good team of like basically like who we thought was like the best center midfielder in the world was at the time or something. And from England, all I could think was De Bruyne. Like, for just like world class. I think Bruno Fernandes was kind of in the discussion as well. But I mean, when you're searching for like a center midfielder, you look elsewhere from England a lot of the time.
Yeah.
Like there's not many good center mids other than De Bruyne and maybe 2 others or something.
Yeah.
That I can think of. But they're scattered throughout, and Luka Modric definitely is up there. Toni Kroos even as well is up there for Real Madrid. Yeah, Chelsea coming out and like pulling away from a 3-0 lead in the 75th minute. Shout out Timo Werner finally doing something good that I can respect. For them to pull out like that, I was like, wow, this is crazy. Like for them, I mean, last leg they had 20 something shots, only 5 on target. This one they have 28 shots with 7 on target. The 28 shots though, they really resemble like how well they played because they were still good quality shots. Yeah, like even if they weren't all hitting the net and making Courtois, move and shake around to get the saves, they were still like actually good shots from this game. And again, dominant on possession, dominant on passing. It's just a really hard fought after match, and it kind of hurt them. Like it takes away, like this performance that they did here takes away from how bad they were, like from leg 1.
Yeah.
Or like if they would have just played a little bit better leg 1, and then this would be more rewarding, clearly. Yeah. And they wouldn't have to fight as hard. But I mean, if they could come out and play every game like this, they would be EPL champions this year.
Yeah.
Like I think they put everything they had, all the energy they had, all the planning, and they already saw what Real Madrid could do from the first leg, so they kind of had that experience going into this match as well at the Bernabeu. Is it even Bernabeu? Is it their other facility?
I don't know.
No, it is a Bernabeu, but they put this like banner up here that they block off part of the stands, I guess.
Yeah.
So it looks kind of weird.
Not sure why they do that.
I don't know if Spain is still full capacity or not because of COVID restrictions. I mean, it kind of looks like it from this picture. But
this section's blocked off.
Block off the one section. Everywhere else is stadium.
Yeah, I don't understand that. Maybe it's like 85% or something capacity. But no, the performance from Chelsea from this game, I'm trying to take away like silver lining stuff. They played really well.
Yeah.
They definitely deserve to win, but like we said, just world class prevails. And I mean, the assist from Modric to the Rodrigo goal. Yeah, like we said, outside the boot, 40-yard pass like to his foot. just unbelievable. And then Karim Benzema again showing up when the time matters most and converting in the 96th minute in the first 15 minutes of extra time. And there's a deficit that Chelsea couldn't recover from. They win the game 3-2, but they lose 5-4 on aggregate. They take away the away goal rule this year. It wouldn't have really mattered in Chelsea's standpoint, but still, hard-fought game from Tuchel's boys, but not enough. And we have Real Madrid moving on to the semifinal to face against Man City.
Yeah, I mean, it was really exciting to watch. I mean, that was probably the two most exciting legs that I've watched in a long time.
It was really good. The commentators were going nuts too. The commentators were like, "This is the most exciting football match you've ever seen in your life."
Yeah, like when do you see that? Especially when both events are away with both teams who are performing well. So like Real Madrid playing unbelievable at Chelsea, and then Chelsea coming back to get that 3-0 lead at the Bernabeu is something you really don't see. But yeah, I mean, right when Modric received that ball and just like released it from his foot, I think especially people who don't watch footy, to be able to make that pass right when he received it, like he didn't really take a lot of time to see where his pass was. He received it and put it outside the boot right away.
Yeah, it was a huge heads up play.
Yeah. So that just all the vision, obviously the skill to be able to do that was unbelievable. But like Joe was saying, you don't really see a lot of clutch moments like that when a team's really behind, just someone to drag them out and give them a lifeline. Whereas in this case, you have someone like Modric who can. So it would be nice to see a little more of that, because in England, and I think some pundits have talked about this too, where the EPL might be one of the hardest leagues to go behind in, because it's, at least I don't really see a lot of comebacks, and like really big comebacks. Might just be a perception thing, but a lot of times it's just, you get a lead and that's really it.
Yeah,
that's it. You go best you can hope for is a tie.
I do notice it when it's like scrappy teams.
Yeah,
like if it's a Burnley and a Southampton, then you can maybe see like a 5-3 thriller or a 4-3 game or something.
But two top teams,
yeah, you don't see it very often. Like a 2-0 deficit, like that's curtains. Like there's no coming back for that, because because that team that's up 2-0 is able to get the lead, but also solidify, their game plan for the rest of the game. And so, okay, our first step, get the lead. Second step, maybe get one more to like really be safe, and then third step, we're just gonna shut the thing down, and like nothing's gonna get past our line.
Caveat is Chelsea losing to Brentford 4-1 after they were up 1-0.
Oh, son of a bitch, Joe. That was in our streak, wasn't it? It was one of our missing games to talk about. Yes, Chelsea lost 4-1 to Brentford. It was terrible. Christian Eriksen scored a goal.
Yes, that's good.
We'll leave it at that.
Yeah.
I mean, go to Man City now. They're facing Real Madrid semifinal, and they came away 1-0 victors against Atletico in the first leg of the match on April the 5th. This game was at the Etihad.
Yep.
Etihad Stadium. A game heavily dominated by Man City. I mean,
no shots on target.
Yeah, if you were just even like a casual fan could look at the stat line here and be like, wow, like without knowing the score, they'd probably think that Man City dominated this game and won 5-0.
Yeah.
But only 1-0 victory. Kevin De Bruyne scored a nice goal, 70th minute. I think I might just saw the highlight package of this game. I'm sure you guys actually tuned in for the whole thing.
Yep.
What was your guys' reaction to it? Because I don't think the score line, shows like how well Man City played this game.
Yeah.
But was it a case of missed opportunities, or was it a case of Atletico maybe, allowing Man City to pressure them like they do, but also playing well defensively?
For me,
I wouldn't say they played well defensively. I mean, they did. I don't know if City was particularly at their best. It might have been also Atletico just frustrated them a bit. It just goes to show they had, only 2 shots on target, but Atletico played the game. I know one of the pundits said it. They played the game not to lose. And just what was disappointing about Atletico is they didn't really threaten when they got the ball. There was no effort to go do a counterattack or anything like that. So yeah, it was just a typical case of City going against a team that's set up with 5 defenders and 5 midfielders with no real desire to go and attack. And yeah, I mean, I didn't catch too much of the game, but I caught a bit of the second half, and it was just City with the ball and just I think at one point almost all 11 players for Atletico were in the box. So it was just one of those games, and it was not the greatest thing to see, but is what it is.
Yeah, I was able to tune into all this game, and you know, I don't want to say piece of magic from De Bruyne because it did take a pretty big deflection on his goal.
Yeah.
But it was just a case of, you know, just dominating Man City performance, but it was similar to how they experience a lot of what happens in the EPL when they're just facing a resilient team and they're finding a tough way to get in behind. But it was a really good, I guess, tactical play by Guardiola to bring on Foden because he was on for almost no time at all, and then
that he should have
set up
scored
a goal. So it just goes to show how far Foden's come for City. I mean, he was still kind of in his like maybe immaturity phase just a few seasons ago, where he was still kind of like developing as a player. Now a lot of times he's their like go-to guy in times of need. And he came on and made an instant impact. So they really needed that. I think the scoreline is fairly justified just because City didn't create a ton of good chances. But, you know, lo and behold, they were still able to pull it off in the second leg with a lot of drama.
Yeah. Yeah, like what a luxury though for Pep to have to bring in like Foden and Grealish off the bench.
Yeah.
You know, Mahrez and Sterling started this game for them on the wings, and then to bring in Foden, Grealish, and Gabriel Jesus. Like again, at any other team, these are the three all-stars on the team, like the three like guys with the first name on the sheet starting the match. So yeah, Foden's. I mean, he's starting to grow on me a little bit. I gave him some flack earlier in the season. You guys had him on your list as like, you know, top 11 player of the year. I don't think he was that good. Like I would still pick Grealish over him if I had to, like to start a match for me. I think Foden still has to just like prove a little bit more because he doesn't play many 90-minute games. Like he doesn't start many games and finish them, I think. So I think he needs to be counted on a little bit more and like held a little more responsible for the team, or not responsible, have a little more confidence, like that he's going to carry the team forward. For him to kind of get more points in my books.
Yeah.
Where I feel like Jack Grealish, we've seen him at Aston Villa, he can carry a team like no other.
Yeah.
Like we know he's a captain of there. He's, you know, I think he's solidified his spot. That's my word of the day so far. Solidify, I said like 6 times already. He solidified himself as a top Premier League player. And Foden's up and coming. I mean, I have nothing against the kid. I don't hold him in as high regard as you guys do, I think.
Yeah, that's fair.
So yeah, City pulling away 1-0 victors at home in the first leg, and then the return fixture back in Madrid, and the drama. I mean,
if anyone,
it started early and it ended late.
But yeah, for anyone that says 0-0 soccer games are boring, I mean, granted there are some boring 0-0 soccer games. If you want to watch a footy game,
this match had everything but a goal.
Yeah.
It had everything but a goal. There's red cards, yellow cards. There's an elephant at some point, I think, on the field. There's a lot of shit going on here.
Yeah.
But it was good to see that, you know, Atletico Madrid had some bounce back. Whenever you see a Man City game, like we just touched on in the first leg, if you look at just the stats and not look at the scoreline, you're going to see Man City have majority possession in any game that they play against any opponent.
Yeah.
This game here, the possession being 61-39 in favor of Man City, it does show that they obviously had more pressure, but there was more fight and more grit from Atletico in this game, clearly being down 1-0. Going into this last leg, you have to, you know, show yourself a little bit more. But even without the goals and even without the attacking prowess of this match, it was still just really entertaining.
Yeah.
Because, like, again, like this is what soccer is in April, you know, getting towards the end of the season. I mean, you have Man City fighting for the EPL title. You have Atletico kind of right there still in the top 3 for La Liga. This is a huge game going to the semifinal to face Real Madrid in the next leg. Basically everything's on the line. So you have all your players, you have all your fans, all your support, you know, giving everything for this one match. And again, a goal didn't come from it. I mean, I think we would have seen way more fireworks if a goal did come from this game. Like, could you imagine something happened? Like, imagine a goal scored like in the 40th minute, just before halftime by either side.
Yeah.
That second half would have been nuts.
Yeah.
It would have been this game on steroids, basically.
Crazier than it already was.
So everything popping off in the last 10 minutes or so. But even so, like, it was even the last 10 minutes, a goal could have came from either side.
Yeah.
That's the crazy part about it. Man City didn't have to score. But they still had a bulk of the chances in the last 20 minutes of the game.
Yeah.
Just because Atletico did put like that much more pressure on Man City. But yeah, I mean, I was like watching bits and pieces of it. I was doing dinner or something, so I had to kind of duck my head down and watch the TV as everything was unfolding. So just for our listeners, why don't you guys explain what happened in the last 10 minutes?
Yeah. So I was able to watch this from start to finish.
You lucky dog.
Yeah. It was, honestly, I feel like the last 10 minutes of the game was a slow, like pot boiling up until that point. I mean, right from the start, Atletico I feel like they were targeting Foden in particular a lot. I remember one instance, ball was going out for a throw in. Foden starts slowing down. He knows it's going to go out. Savage is right behind him going, and he just basically like checks him from behind, like going into the boards. Ref doesn't really talk to Savage at all, and Foden is obviously upset. I mean, leaving huge after, but I get the sense where refs don't want to give yellows early because then they have to set that bar for the rest of the game. So that's what the ref was doing this game. So there were lots of tackles. I mean, Felipe? I don't even know.
Felipe, yeah.
Yeah, Felipe. I can't even pronounce his name properly. But early in the game, he came right through Foden, and Foden had to get the whole headband thing going on. He was bleeding. Ref didn't give him a yellow for that. So he didn't want to set a precedent early on, but it was just like tackle after tackle, and then Foden is just, getting targeted more and more by Atletico D. And then
so there's so many yellows in the last 10 minutes.
Yeah, and then
from the 80th minute on, there's like 7 yellow cards.
Yeah, so 83rd minute or 82nd minute it was. Foden's running down the touchline, and then Felipe comes in and does a slide tackle. But on his way up, he basically kicks Foden in the back of the leg. Foden goes on the ground, and Foden strategically, because he's out of bounds when he's on the ground, rolls onto the field while holding his leg. And for anyone that doesn't watch footy a lot, if you're off the field and you have an injury, the ref can still let the play go on. But Foden knew that, so he kind of just rolls on the field while holding his injury, so that the ref has to stop the play.
Waste some more time.
Yeah,
kill the clock.
So Savage sees what Foden's doing and starts sprinting towards Foden. And luckily, Zinchenko was there. And Savage proceeds to try and pull Foden's jersey to rip him off the field, basically. And Zinchenko's holding him off. And next thing you know, both benches are clearing off and running towards the situation, and then just mayhem ensues from there.
I love the description on here. Savage goes into the book for his part in the melee.
Yeah. Well, look at the contract. Melee. Phone is brought down.
Melee.
So,
yeah, if you guys ever want to look at the
choose your character.
I mean,
choose your character.
The online commentary.
Phil Foden
is posted. If you just Google search the matches, you can go to
Chic
the timeline, and they give you basically minute by minute breakdowns of the match, and it's all through text, it's no audio, so you have to envision someone saying it, but to read it is something else. It's funny.
I love the all caps melee. That is
say off. Felipe perhaps lucky to remain on the field in the first half, but now is sent off. It's kind of like attitude behind it a little bit,
90th minute.
Well,
Foden is
what a block.
Foden is brought down by Felipe in the left flank and stays down. Savage races over, tries to pick up the midfielder, which causes a huge confrontation between the two sets of players. It's chaos on the field, and the referee has to bring it under control.
That's not a bad description.
No, that's basically what it was. I mean, there was so much that happened. I don't know how Savage didn't get red carded. I don't know how there wasn't a camera on him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
he headbutted Foden in the thing. He should have been
or Sterling.
He headbutted Sterling. during that whole melee, I guess.
Melee.
Using that term. But yeah, he headbutted him during that whole thing, and someone obviously got a picture of it because it's all over the internet, but somehow VAR didn't see that. I mean, granted, they have 47 players they got to keep an eye on during that whole skirmish.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, bench is cleared. Felipe got a red card, and Savage also pulled Grealish's hair.
That was another talking point too. Yeah.
Yeah. So
tripping Grealish's hair.
Yeah. And it didn't really stop on the field. I mean, game continued, ended 0-0, but craziness continued in the tunnel to the teams. Just Savage and Grealish got into it in the tunnel, and then the police had to get involved. So
I was gonna say something about the police got involved too, right?
Yeah. So they were going at it. Just craziness. I mean, it does get the adrenaline going, but at the end of the day, it's not really what you want to see, seeing as you have like 10-year-olds who probably like look up to Savage as a hero. And they're like, oh, this guy's just headbutting people and like getting all wound up. So
when did the headbutt become a thing?
I don't know.
I don't know. Like the players going at each other and then like headbutting. I don't know.
But like,
very weird.
There's so many other things you can do. I mean, I know like the headbutt around the world. The headbutt heard around the world.
That's
Zidane.
That's what started it.
2006. I mean, if you know, you know. Shout out Italy.
Yeah.
Not in the World Cup this year. Yeah, him doing that at the biggest stage of all time was nuts. But then like after that point, yeah, you basically see it, frequently now.
Yeah.
Just a little nudge of the head, like players flop down, obviously. But like I've seen some before that are like a real headbutt. Like
yeah.
Like I don't think headbutting's allowed in the UFC. But like I've seen some like UFC style headbutts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like full force into it. Like
yeah.
I don't
get it.
I feel like maybe it's that someone who plays feeling they can give the most damage without being caught doing a headbutt.
Like you just said, there's so many cameras around, and in this case, Savage didn't get caught. But I mean, with VAR now being a thing, and like you said, there's so many other things that they're looking at in this melee that was going on that they probably didn't see it. But on any other given day, like you headbutt somebody, someone's gonna see it.
Yeah,
yeah.
Nowadays, 100%.
That's straight red, no matter what. Now,
Yeah.
even like the littlest touch,
Mm-hmm.
like they'll get caught.
Yeah.
And you get shown a straight red.
Yeah. I mean, just to touch on it, Letty, it's very unfortunate because we saw moments in this leg where they had so much potential going forward. And I know one of the pundits mentioned, he's like who's the head coach? Simeone. How they've spent so much money on this team. You have Griezmann, Joao Felix, Carrasco, like so many good players.
Suarez going back too.
Suarez.
These guys didn't play in this match, but Suarez going back too.
All these guys, and like you still play games like they're just a bunch of thugs. And it's like, you have so much more potential with this team. But, it's just, it's how the manager wants them to play, and it's,
Yeah. For me it's unfortunate as well. I mean, he was even riling up all the fans whenever City would go down. He would get all the fans all like sarcastic clapping with everyone. So it would be interesting to see if they had a manager that wasn't, I guess. It feels like Diego Simeone is like very against his opponent, whoever he's playing against. Like it's I think someone put it well, where it's like you have Atleti playing City. It's like a rivalry where it's almost dirty, where you have City playing Liverpool, and it's like a tactical rivalry.
That makes sense.
Klopp, Guardiola, huge respect for each other.
Yeah.
Speak highly of each other. All the players, even though they can get into it, they still have that underlying respect. A lot of the players know each other. Here, it's like one of those games you see in our league where it's just like, craziness can ensue. So that's too bad because, like you said, I think they have a lot of potential, and it would be good to see what they can do with that when they're not so focused on doing whatever they were doing during the Man City game.
And I think that just kind of goes to show like Simeone's personality as well. Like he's just a firecracker.
Yeah,
like he's always like there to like motivate his team, fire them up. I mean, he's been the manager at Atletico since 2011, so he's been there for over a decade. And what he's been able to accomplish in his time there is amazing. clearly. But yeah, I don't know if he's starting to overstay his welcome at Atletico. I mean, I don't know if it's like if he was to ever leave, I don't know if it'd be him deciding to leave or it'd be mutual or it'd be Atletico saying, okay, we have to move in a different direction now. I'm not totally sure. But I mean, I would love to see him in England. Like imagine him going against the likes of, like you said, Pep and Klopp and Tuchel. Like imagine like matching their passion for passion. If Mourinho was still there, like,
with
awesome
everything
too.
I just said, he's probably what Man U need right now.
That's what I've been saying.
After everything I said,
That's what I mentioned Simeone
to get the
Man
best
U.
out of Man U, you probably need exactly Simeone to just get some fight back in there, and
it'll be a good balance.
Do something.
Yeah. Well, Man U found their man.
Yeah.
Signing. Eric Ten Hag, is that his name? Ten Hag.
Yeah. Eric Ten Hag.
Okay. So signing him, coming out of the Ajax camp. He's been there for some time at Ajax, right? If I'm not mistaken. I gotta look it up here. Again, another manager coming, kind of like what Rangnick was, coming from the Bundesliga. I wasn't totally familiar with him. I definitely heard his name before, but I wasn't sure of like what his coaching style was like, what his managerial style was like.
Yeah.
And then coming, becoming more of like the like behind the scenes guy for Rangnick. I think that suits him a little bit better for the team because he was able to, like we said before in previous podcasts, he was able to bring the likes of, was it Leipzig? Was it Leipzig? Yeah, Leipzig and Schalke, I think, kind of from like nowheres to, Bundesliga, contenders, and obviously, make the teams better for what they are now. So I think Rangnick in that role would be better, and he was hired basically to fill the void that Solskjaer left behind, plus be in charge of finding a new manager for United. And his, I don't know if this is his first choice or not, but Man U comes out and signs Eric Ten Hag coming from Ajax. He was there since 2017. Major accomplishments as a manager from there. I mean, they don't have much competition basically in the Dutch league.
Yeah.
PSV basically being like the only other competitor that they have, but Ajax managerial record 155 wins, 26 draws, and 29 losses. So that's a pretty crazy statistic.
Yeah.
Almost 74% win percentage, crazy goal differential. Again, I'm not totally familiar with what his coaching style is like. I did read somewhere that he is not considering Ronaldo though in his future plans. I don't know if you guys saw that too.
Mm-hmm.
So just that being said, from taking that information, I think he's going to be more looking towards a youth movement for United, something that we've been saying for years they kind of have to do, start getting away from the likes of Matic and Juan Mata and Ronaldo, Cavani even, and start focusing more on the building blocks and having a good support system for the team.
Yeah.
Whether that's Rashford in the plans and Sancho and Harry Maguire is also getting up there in age a little bit. I don't know if he is quite captain and leadership material.
Yeah.
I've been saying that for a while now. Maybe he gets put in a different direction as well. De Gea is another aging player, has been there forever. He always wants to leave. So this guy, hopefully, I think he signed a 2-year contract, at least. So he kind of has. Is he going in? He's not coming in this year. He's coming in next year, probably, right?
I believe so. Yeah.
So he'll have 2 seasons, hopefully 2 seasons under his belt, 2 full seasons. Better than what Solskjaer had. I think Solskjaer was getting 1-year contracts every single time.
Yeah,
so you're kind of
see how this one goes.
Kind of like a lame duck when you're in that position. You have to kind of show your worth and performance year by year.
Yeah.
But for him to show up there with a 2-year contract, it kind of gives him a little bit more, confidence and security under his belt to be able to pull the strings and do whatever he wants. He'll have 2 full transfer seasons, plus obviously the January transfer window to do whatever he can to improve the team. And I feel like, it's a fresh start for United.
Yeah.
And I think, hopefully he'll be given the reins to make the fresh start that United needs to have. I don't think it's any surprise if I was to talk to any United fan or pundit or supporter, I would say, what's your guys' biggest problem? And they would say, we don't know what we are as a team.
Yeah.
We don't know our identity. We don't know where we're going. So hopefully Eric Ten Hag can take the team under his own reins and put his own little spice on it and make them a more competitive team for next season or the next seasons to come.
Yeah, I mean it's really gonna be got to show us what he's capable of. The mass exit, that's been I think a little more than rumored of all the players that he wants to leave Man U. That's really gonna stir the pot, like you said. I am kind of questioning his whole Ronaldo exit thing. I don't really see any indication that Ronaldo himself wants to leave.
He's been their best player all year.
Yeah.
We'll talk about Ronaldo later, but he's been their best player all season.
Yeah.
Like, crazy.
So, and like Ronaldo wants to say he's obviously putting in the performances. Yeah, he's old, but like you also have to take like 7 years off his age because he's just in that kind of shape. So, I don't know. I'm not pumped about that in particular. So he better have something good up his sleeve if that's a play he wants to kind of go with. Because right now, like, Man U needs Ronaldo. I don't really see what their plan is if they don't have him.
Yeah,
like, I mean, you're just gonna hope that you have someone that's gonna be there as well as him.
Unless his plan is to do kind of something similar to Arsenal, where it's just like a complete overhaul.
Overhaul your team, but keep your best player.
That's the way you have to go. Yeah, but when your best player is like 37 years old, that's kind of tough.
Yeah,
and plus your best player is also going to play till he's 45.
And plus, if they can get money for if they can sell Ronaldo, get money for him, use that money to get some, more youth, because it is. You can't lean on Ronaldo for the next 5 years. You know what I mean?
But like I honestly think they can still rebuild the team and keep him.
Yeah. For sure they should. I'm just saying that's probably what they're thinking.
As long as he's not getting. I mean, again, United's a team that when Ronaldo signed with Juve, the biggest thing was we can't afford him because Juve was in such a financial crisis. Mm-hmm. We know that's not the case with Man U. Mm-hmm. They can buy anybody. They can support anybody financially. So for him to be there, it's not a financial risk. It was more of just like a tactical or. Like, if it doesn't pay off kind of thing, we might have to get rid of him kind of risk. Mm-hmm. But clearly, he disproved that right away. And when he first signed with the team, like one of our first podcasts of the season, we said, what is his impact going to be and why is he there? He's there to score goals.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think Man U's had, I don't even know how many goals he has this season, to be honest, like full in total team goals. Maybe you guys can look it up real quick. But I mean, United hasn't had a top EPL goal scorer. Maybe even since like the Lukaku days. Even before that, the Rooney days.
Yeah.
Like, who was jumping off the page for you guys with United for goal scoring? The last I can remember is honestly Rooney, or maybe Zlatan like scored a bunch, or Van Persie. I don't even know.
Yeah,
like, it's been a long ass time.
Yeah.
So for Ronaldo to be doing what he's doing at his age, he's a player that was brought into the side that is proven and that is reliable and that we know it can score. I mean, he was letting it up at Juve still. I mean, he hasn't really just fallen off. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
Like, with Rashford, he's really inconsistent and he's injury prone. With Sancho, we had no idea what he's going to be this year. Martial got offloaded to Sevilla in the in the summer or in January. I can't remember.
Yeah.
But other than those players, like, who's scoring goals for you guys?
Yeah.
If you don't bring Ronaldo in, who do you look to score goals?
Yeah.
Because Cavani's barely played this year. Bruno Fernandes is a center midfielder at best. That's a playmaker. He's not going to give you 25, 30 goals.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Like, who was going to score if Ronaldo was not on this team?
I know. We're going to have to see like what his plan is. If he doesn't want him in his side, it's for a reason. So hopefully it pays off for him. But I mean, maybe this ties into City, what I was going to say, but like City obviously would love to have a number 9. Similar to Ronaldo, but with that said, I know City have agreed to, personal terms with Erling Haaland. So,
Stop.
Yeah, we'll see if that comes through.
Now? In April?
They said a deal could be finalized in the coming weeks. So,
that's not even fair.
We shall see.
I want Chelsea to get Lewandowski. That's my dream.
That
Chelsea get Lewandowski.
That's probably not going to happen.
Thanks, Joe, for just crushing that.
But no. So Cristiano Ronaldo has 21 goals this season for Man U
in all matches,
in
like in all competition.
Yeah.
Who's the next? If you can find that.
I
Probably like
I don't even know.
I
Honestly,
don't even know. Someone with like 9.
Yeah, I don't know, but it's
a sketchy
it's
website
like,
you're on?
it's probably
I don't know what website it's found. I said skates.
I'm not sure. If Ten Hag did want to exit Ronaldo, I don't know if this is just like splash and like clickbait that's going around too. It's just, if that's your plan, like, why do you have to announce it? Why do you have to like say your best player is not in your future plans? Like, I don't see what benefit that gives to your team.
Yeah. I mean, now that you say that, maybe it is just click, because that is a very
Joe
crazy
with the
thing to say.
9 spot.
Oh yeah, Bruno Fernandes 9.
Bruno Fernandes 9 goals.
Boom.
And then Mason Greenwood's like facing jail time. So like, I mean, half your first 3 guys on your team, you got Ronaldo, Bruno Fernandes, again another playmaker who's got 14 assists this season. So he's just a complete player for them.
Mm-hmm.
But Mason Greenwood, he's gone. Sancho, unreliable. He doesn't start that many games as well. And then same with Rashford.
Yeah.
And if you have Fred pulling up the rear in your goal scoring in your top 5 or 6, you know something's wrong with your team. So again, if Ronaldo wasn't there, take away 21 goals from Man U this season in all competitions, and 21 crucial goals too. It's not just like 21 garbage time goals. It's 21 meaningful goals half the time. So, I mean, those are gone. This team is a nobody. This team has nothing. This would be a bottom feeder team if we're not for Ronaldo this year.
Yeah,
and like what he's been able to do for them with the goal scoring.
Mm-hmm.
Just in Premier League action, he scored, I think 15. Yeah, 15 goals. And I think a lot of Fernandez's goals are from PKs too.
No, it's 0.
Oh, 0. What the hell? I thought they were PKs. Oh, I'm thinking Jorginho for Chelsea.
There you go.
I think all his goals are PKs.
He's only had 2 PKs.
That seems off.
Is this right?
Yeah, I guess so. Penalty kicks made. Oh, then yeah, but penalty kick attempt. Oh, there you go. They have 3. Bruno Fernandes missed 1. But yeah, again, just from EPL standpoint, 15 goals in the Premier League. The last 15 goal scorer for Man U was, like I said, maybe Lukaku before his trip to Inter.
Yeah.
Not totally sure. I'm just thinking off the top of the head here, but
yeah, we'll see.
I
mean, they need something at Man U. Otherwise, they're just going to be a team that's on the outside looking in a Champions League every year. But I mean, I was not harping on Arsenal, but I was giving Arsenal tons of praise. Like, they're for sure going to be the ones in Champions League, and then they slip up. It's 3 losses in a row. And now Tottenham's the one sitting well in Champions League, but they lost again. Now Man U's, a little bit back in the mix. So it's like no one really wants to put their hand on the 4th Champions League spot and really just claim it as their own. Arsenal had their chance, but cannot lose 3 games in a row in the run-in.
And like we're finally getting down to crunch time too with all the makeup games happening.
Mm-hmm.
Like this midweek schedule, I think is chock full of makeup games.
Yeah.
Tomorrow's match day 30. Actually, I think we're actually on match day 33 or 34. But Man U plays Liverpool tomorrow on Tuesday for a makeup match.
Mm-hmm.
And then Wednesday's got a bunch of makeup games. Look at this. It just looks funny to look at it from like the actual scheduling table here.
Match day 18.
You have match day 18, match day 25, and then 3 games from match day 30, all being played on on Wednesday and Thursday of this week. And then match 34 actually resumes on Saturday. So it's just, again, because of COVID, because of other domestic and intercontinental competitions, makeup games have to be played left and right and made up at the end of the season. And it's kind of fun too. We get treated to a Man U Liverpool game like midweek.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That was supposed to be played a month ago. But we're getting that tomorrow.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then the London Derby kicking off on Wednesday as well. Between Chelsea and Arsenal, a game that was supposed to be played almost 3 months ago.
Yeah, so a lot of big games coming up. Man U, Liverpool. I mean, there's no game like the Man U Liverpool.
That's awesome.
I
game
mean,
every year.
If Man U brings some fight to it.
And that's the thing though with those games, it's table doesn't matter. Nothing really matters. Just it's whoever shows its play that day because as a top player, I mean, those are the games you live for as a footy player.
Mm-hmm. And like that can be more said than the Merseyside derby to be played this weekend between Everton and Liverpool.
Yeah.
I mean, I think this is probably the biggest disconnect we've ever seen.
Oh, for sure.
Between the two sides. I mean, with Liverpool being P2 and Everton being in 17th, only 3 points safe from relegation, which is crazy to even say in a sentence. This match at Anfield on Sunday.
This is one of those games where if Everton beat Liverpool to like really take the title out of Liverpool's hands and like get Everton away from that is
tons at stake.
They out of all the derbies, this will be one of the ones where Everton fans look back and be like, yeah, there was that one game in 2022 where Liverpool were itching closer to the title and they were 1 point away and then we beat them and then that started our transition out of the relegation area.
It's just tough. It's like I want to be able to say that this is Everton's biggest game of the year, but usually those games that you mentioned, biggest games of the year games, it's a game that you can have a chance to win. Like the biggest game for Everton would be like in 2 weeks from now if they play against Burnley or something, or in 2 weeks from now they play against Leeds. Would be like their biggest game of the season.
Mm-hmm.
To say that this game is their biggest game of the season, it kind of hurts the game a little bit because again, like they're so far away from Liverpool, and like they don't even have a fighting chance. I feel like,
yeah,
like they could pull off a win. And, you have Norwich beat Man U. You could have Norwich beat Liverpool. I mean, Norwich almost beat Man U this weekend or this past weekend, if not for a Ronaldo hat trick. But yeah, I mean, it's tough for Everton, man. Tough spot. And I think they got a juicy little schedule too remaining. Like,
yeah, it's definitely scary for them, and they got some tough games coming up.
They got Leicester twice, Liverpool, Chelsea. A game against Crystal Palace, a game against Watford is gonna be big because those are both bottom feeder teams, and then the last game of the season against Arsenal, it's Arsenal away as well. That'll be a tough games. They have 8 games left in the schedule. Winnable games, I'm seeing maybe two, maybe one winnable game and maybe 3 draws.
Yeah,
I could see them drawing one game against Leicester. I could see them drawing against Brentford.
You need,
the Watford game and Crystal Palace game can kind of go either way.
They need 2 wins, I would say. So that'll bring them at 34.
And tough for them too. They have a makeup game this Wednesday as well, so they can't even have a full week of preparation for Liverpool match. They have a game against Leicester on Wednesday, makeup match from match day. Was it match day 30? I think it was, or something from about a month ago. Because I think Leicester was actually 18. Involved in FA Cup games.
Right there.
Match day 18. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, that was a lifetime ago.
Was that like December? That could be a COVID one. I think some of these games are more so because there was Carabao Cup or FA Cup games being played. Obviously Champions League as well. But I think the match day 18 is probably a COVID game.
Probably.
From maybe November or December.
Yeah, because you don't usually see that much of a delay.
Mm-hmm. Because that's going back a ways. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, from Everton's standpoint, we'll talk about the relegation battle first before we get to the top of the table. They got a tough run in, like we said, and the sides like Burnley, they're just firing their manager Sean Dyche after being there for so long. I saw a lot of pundits saying that's kind of slap in the face to Sean Dyche, but at the same time, it's like maybe do at the end of the season. Maybe he could have been there for the remainder of the year and hopefully, pull them out from the rut that they're in. But I think people were saying the fact that he's been there for so long and he was able to provide Burnley with the seasons and the climb that they've had to the EPL for as long as they have. I think they're saying that he was owed more than just to be relieved of duty with 9 games remaining or whatever it was, 7 games remaining.
Yeah.
So I think that they're saying that's kind of a slap in the face to him. I'm seeing it as again, it's a team that's at the bottom of the table. They're 18th place. They're right there in the relegation fight. They can pull 2-3 wins out of nothing in their remaining schedule and maybe pull themselves out. But I don't know. What do you guys think? I don't know if you're firing a manager this late in the season, maybe that's the only thing I can see. Like maybe you should have done this a couple months ago.
Yeah.
Get the new guy coming in, a little bit more of a fighting chance, whoever it is. I think it's just like a caretaker coming into the spot.
Yeah.
I don't think they appointed a full-on manager yet.
I mean,
but they have some winnable games too coming up.
Yeah. For me, especially since there's so few games left, it's one of those things, right? You bring in a new manager, players are all pumped. It's like changes, like, will this get us out of the relegation zone? You do get that little adrenaline rush with the new manager. You guys know I always lean more towards keeping the manager, even if really tough times. But I mean, relegation is like the biggest disaster for a Premier League side.
Mm-hmm.
So it does call for like very drastic changes. Do I see Burnley getting out of relegation? I think Everton are going to pull through. Just kind of a gut feeling. Obviously, anything can happen, but
it's only 3 points.
Yeah, I mean it's so tight. But the fact that he's been there for a decade, I don't know. It's like what if they do pull it off and they stay up and they stuck with him? Like what kind of environment are you going to have if you're able to pull that off as a manager? I mean, it would set the precedent for the next season.
I think it's like have the captain go down with the ship kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's kind of my viewpoint of it. He's been there for, again, 10 years. He's brought Burnley to the promised land of the Premier League for as long as they've been there for. If they're going to go out, let Sean Dyche be the guy to see them out. If they're going to prevail, let Sean Dyche be the guy that's going to see them prevail. Mm-hmm. Is it really that big of a deal if you like? That's the thing too. If you've let him go now and you still don't progress or you still don't stay outside the relegation zone, then what was the point of letting him go? It's a risky kind of move, but again, if you make this decision now in April, you had it thought about in February, probably, because they haven't been out of the bottom 3 or 4 almost all season, so it's not like it's new news. It's not like Everton where they dropped and dropped and dropped and dropped. Burnley have always been a bottom feeder team. Mm-hmm. I mean, they might have had a couple of seasons where they finished 12th or 13th, but this season in particular, they've always been the bottom 5, let's just say, for the majority of the season. So it's not like it's anything new for him to be there. So I think in Dyche's case, it's more respectful to let him go down with the ship, like I said, or let him be the guy to try and pull them out of it. I don't know. That's just kind of my 2 cents.
Yeah.
I was confused because I swear I saw this, and maybe I was right. I thought he signed a new deal that would see him stay there till 2025.
Before the season started?
When was this? September 16th, 2021.
So that's going into this year. Well, that's basically the beginning of the season.
Oh, I thought it was later than that, but no, I'm in the same boat. You have to. He's been there for so long. I'm pretty sure, and I haven't been keeping up with Burnley over years, so I'm not sure, but I'm sure they've been in a pickle where they were getting like oddly close, and he pulled them out. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So you have to give him the chance to do it again. Like I said, I would hate to see Everton go down, but I would have stuck with Sean Dyche. If I would have given Burnley a chance, I probably would have went that route, because you're going to get a new guy come in and cross your fingers and hope that he's going to be the one to do it. I think give it a better chance with the manager that the players all know and respect. Now it's just going to be a scrappy finish.
Yeah, it's saying here there's rumors of the Middlesbrough manager, Chris Wilder, being the new guy appointed at Burnley. But again, I don't think that'd be this year, because Middlesbrough is in their own battle right now, I think, to get promoted.
Yeah.
So he wouldn't be leaving this season at all. And also Middlesbrough having some pretty good success in the FA Cup. Who did they beat? I think they beat Man U.
Yeah.
In the FA Cup.
Yep.
So I mean, if you can pull that off, that clearly puts your name kind of like in the top of the list, or puts your name in some lights saying, "Hey, like I just beat Man U." So take a look at me to get promoted somewhere. Again, last thing I'll say about Burnley and Sean Dyche, I just think this late in the season for them to make this move, I don't know if there's anything going on behind the scenes, but that's just kind of that's a dick move by the Burnley brass.
Yeah.
It's putting a lot of pressure on the team. It's putting more pressure on the players to perform now because, like I said, like a new guy's going to come in. Please don't say Sam Allardyce is coming in.
All Sam.
He's in the running. Oh God, that'd be hilarious. If you can get Big Sam in for 2 months, that'd be hilarious. I don't know. We'll see what happens with Burnley. If they do get relegated, I mean, it's been a good run for them. Like we said before, staying afloat in the Premier League is for lower tier clubs is almost as good as winning it for higher tier clubs.
Yeah.
Just with the money coming in and the funding. So, I mean, it's gonna be again just a really, really good battle at the relegation zone, and we've seen it time and time again coming on to the last game of the season. I mean, there could be late drama. We never know. I mean, even I don't think Leeds will drop down there, but yeah, Everton, Burnley for sure. They're going to see it to the end, and come match day, 38, we'll know the full story, I guess. To the top of the table, Man City, Liverpool, still keeping stride with each other, coming off back-to-back draws, respectively.
It was not against each other. No.
Yeah, it was. See, so much time has passed.
Coming back.
It was a week ago. Yeah, you're right.
Back-to-back draws.
Back-to-back draws against each other. Because my brain right now is on Champions League and FA Cup. That's why. See, even though these games are played like in the middle of the week against each other, it's like this game feels like so long ago.
It does. What that was?
Yeah,
it's like a week ago.
Yeah, so last week.
8 days ago. Man City, Liverpool face each other to a 2-2 draw. I'd messaged you guys saying how I think this game would have been the game this season if somebody would have won.
Yeah.
On the fact that they both ended. Sorry, the fact that the game ended in a draw. Obviously, it's still exciting. It was a really good game.
Mm-hmm.
But there's just so many missed opportunities from both sides.
Yeah.
Where this could have been like a history books game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. This would have went down as a classic.
Yeah, like we'd love to see goal scoring clearly. If the guys would have been on point, like we know that they are with like Mo Salah and De Bruyne and like Grealish.
You just needed Mahrez to score that
chance
at the end.
This game could have been like 5-4.
Yeah,
it would have been one to talk about for years. But yeah, 2-2 draw for them. I mean, just from the table point of view, like this is the best result that they could have asked for.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm sure if you would have asked Pep and Klopp going into it, saying, "Hey, like if we can guarantee a draw out of this match, would you be okay with that?" They'd probably both say yes.
Both of them might have said yes.
Yeah. Especially with other things on their plate, obviously like the quarterfinal matches that they both had to play midweek in Champions League. Liverpool coming away 3-3 draw against Benfica, but prevailing 6-4 on aggregate. So Liverpool will play Villarreal in the semifinal leg in the semifinal leg instead of Bayern Munich, which is probably the biggest surprise.
Yep.
Out of the Champions League quarterfinal matchups. Bayern Munich losing 1-0 to Villarreal away, I believe, and then drawing 1-1 back at home with an 87th minute goal scored by Villarreal to take a 2-1 aggregate victory away from Bayern Munich. And we said before how we think that Bayern Munich is the team that matches up best against Man City and how badly we want to watch them play each other in a Champions League final.
Yep.
And this is before, I think this is during the group stage we talked about this.
Yeah.
And the way that it was shaping up, it would have been that. It would have been Bayern Munich and Liverpool in semifinal 1. And I was kind of hoping for Man City and Chelsea in semifinal 2.
Yeah.
But Man City against Real Madrid in the other semifinal match, with a chance for them to play each other in the final. But the way that's looking out now, we could have a Man City Liverpool final.
Yeah, which would be just.
And for the amount of times that these guys play each other, like just in recent history, I mean, with them playing each other, obviously, on April the 10th in Premier League action and drawing 2-2, coming back and playing each other, 2 days ago on Saturday in FA Cup semifinals, Liverpool coming away 3-2 victors in that match. for them to be playing each other again in a Champions League final.
Yeah.
My question to you guys is, does the frequency of them playing each other take away or add to the rivalry of them? Because like you said before, it's more of a tactical rival between these two guys. It's not like it's really animosity and they're heated like we see in other sports or even just in other Premier League matchups or footy matchups throughout Europe. Like, does the allure kind of get taken away that they play each other so often?
For me, I think it's more of a personal thing. For me, I think it adds to it just to see them go head to head so many times, and just because I feel like if you get more games against a team and you see different results, I think it adds to it, because now Liverpool beat Man City in the FA Cup.
Mm-hmm.
Man City's been dominating the EPL. They always maybe had slightly the upper hand on Liverpool when they would play, but Liverpool, has had a lot of games where they beat City. So the more times you get massive games where they're playing each other, you go into the game and you don't know who's gonna come out a winner, right? In these massive games, especially when you have Liverpool coming out on top on bigger games like the FA Cup game.
Mm-hmm.
So the final's gonna come. No one knows. If you were to have Villarreal go through against City, then it's like you have a sense of obviously what might happen.
Mm-hmm.
But I think for me, it adds to it for sure.
Joe, what do you think?
I would say it adds to it. Just because it is a tactical matchup, I would say it's interesting to see how, and I know the FA Cup, it was, just touch on that a bit. It was a bit odd to see the lineup City put out. It was almost as if Pep was kind of pushing it off to the side a little bit.
Especially with throwing Zach Steffen in net.
Yeah.
And him being, the centerpiece of one of the most costlier plays that we've seen
recently. But he did say, we have a lot of injuries. They couldn't play De Bruyne, really. Not sure what was up with Ederson and, Rodri. But, you saw Mahrez come in and just... The game was almost done and dusted. We were like, oh, the game's done. And then Mahrez comes in, just creates that chance, and then it's 3-2.
Only one sub shown by Pep, too. With them trailing, they'd be on the front foot to try and push, but only bringing Mahrez in instead of, bringing De Bruyne as well and Gundogan or something.
I think it was he had conceded that he decided, okay, he's like, this after the first half, this match is done. On to the next one. He doesn't really... His priorities for sure are Champions League and the league right now. This game probably mattered. This is probably the biggest semifinal that he cares the least about. If that
makes sense. Yeah. I think Carabao Cup would be the biggest semifinal I care least about.
Maybe.
So...
I'm only saying because Chelsea lost. If Chelsea would have won that, I'd be celebrating like it was a Champions League title.
Yeah. I think if Jesus takes his chance and scores... Well... To go back a bit, I think because the first half went so bad, I don't know if it's a habit Pep has or if it's just speculation from the pundits that he thinks the team that got him into that mess should be the team that gets him out. He's like, hey, I picked you guys to go out, and win this game. Like, I'm not going to put out a team if I don't think you guys at least have a chance. And he's like, you bottled the first half that bad. I'm not going to make the 4 subs at halftime to for these guys I'm supposed to be resting and trying to fix your mistake. So,
which I kind of respect in a way with him.
Yeah. Because it's not like you look at this lineup and it's not like this is their second,
It's still really good.
It's still a really good lineup. There's no reason why they should be down. I know, and some of it has to do with Zach Steffen and the mistakes he made.
Mm-hmm.
But going forward, they were not creating too much. It wasn't until the second half and they got the goal from Grealish where they started threatening and you saw them start to control a little bit more. But, I mean, it goes to show Jesus has, if you're going to be, or if you want to be that number 9 person, I know he's on the wing a lot now and he is pretty effective there, but you have to score.
Yeah.
You have to score that chance.
Yeah, in that situation in particular, it doesn't matter what position you're playing. You could be playing center defensive mid.
You have to score.
In that position, you got to bury that.
Yeah.
To be clear in on Alisson, just raise the ball over, man. You see it so many times where the player tries to side foot it into along the ground. If you just raise that puppy 3 feet in the air,
yeah,
that's it.
It's so far away from the net too. Zach,
he had so much.
He was.
It's not even you're chipping the goalie. It's just you're just.
And he was at the perfect. He was off to the. He's right-footed. He was off to the left of the goal.
Kind of curled it in.
but the mistake was like he didn't touch the ball when Alisson started to go down, so he didn't like change the angle. He just shot it. And so
Alisson, I mean, kudos to Alisson too. Like just cutting the angle off like he did, getting out there as fast as he did. As a goalkeeper, it's all you can basically do. Like when a player's clear in on you from 25 yards out. But yeah, we've seen it time and time again. Like I feel like it works half the time, but then it also doesn't work the other half the time.
Yeah.
Like just put it in the air, man.
Yeah.
It's like again, it's not you're not chipping the goal. You're just putting it in the air around it. You get the whole entire net to shoot at.
Yeah.
Just put it in the air, curl it away from him.
Yeah.
These guys can bend it from like 30 yards out. They can curl it in from like 5 feet away from the keeper.
Any like top notch striker nowadays puts that in. So it's too bad, but they had some fight at the end. End of the day, Liverpool got the win. I think obviously, like Joe said, Pep, this was second priority. So I really want to see them go in Champions League final. It's the only game that matters. Everyone's rested. Top lineups out. We'll see who wins.
Yeah, man. I mean, again, another 2-leg tie coming up with Liverpool and Villarreal, April 27th, and I believe would it be the same day that City would play their Champions League? 26th.
Yeah.
So the day before is the first leg for Man City versus Real Madrid. Definitely tune into those games. I think the more entertaining match would be Man City versus Real Madrid.
Yep.
Yeah.
Having Pep Guardiola going against Carlo Ancelotti. I mean, just a huge tidal wave matchup. From manager standpoint, from the supporter standpoint, obviously the guys on the pitch. I think Man City would still, on paper, stack up better than Real Madrid. But that being said, like obviously Madrid not playing it like as well as with Madrid not playing well basically against Chelsea, and just having basically 2 moments of brilliance or two efforts that they converted on. I think they still have momentum, and I think still going forward, Real Madrid has had a good run, even just back in like La Liga, for them to be at the top of the table like they are. And I mean, I think did they win last year? I think Atletico won last year. Look it up, boys.
Maybe.
Get on that, Jamie. Get on the Google machine. I think with Atletico being, Real Madrid being in like just good form, like I said, and they still have world class players.
Yeah, Atletico.
They won last year, Atletico.
Yeah.
So yeah, Madrid being back at the top of the table for La Liga, some place that they haven't been for a couple of seasons. Carlo Ancelotti just knows how to win in Champions League. We've seen that before. With his tenure at AC Milan and just what he's been able to do with Madrid since he's been there in the last couple of years, and even his time there before. And yeah, I think this will be a really good matchup. Again, we were hoping for the Bayern Munich and Man City final. A Man City versus Real Madrid semifinal is probably the next best thing we can look for. And then clearly, just a Liverpool Man City final would be wild to look at as well.
Yeah.
Just from FA Cup. Oh, go ahead.
Don't count out Villarreal.
Villarreal, no man,
they knocked out Juve.
That's not saying much.
They knocked out Bayern Munich.
That's saying much.
With the City Real game, I would have like a big reason why I would lean more towards City in that game is because of Kyle Walker being able to shut down Junior. The issue is now there's still no clear indication of when Kyle Walker is going to be back from his injury that he got against Atletico. So
who's the replacement there? Zinchenko?
Well, I mean they had Cancelo, Ake.
Ake was playing center back though.
Yeah, but they can have Ake play on the left as well and Cancelo on the right. So I've seen them do that.
Okay.
So in the FA Cup scenario, they did have Zinchenko, but I have seen Ake go on the left so that Stones and Laporte can play in the middle. That's the only thing where with the pace that Junior has, even though he is really fast, it's still like Kyle Walker is still much quicker than he is.
Yeah, seriously.
I haven't seen anyone that's even been close to Kyle Walker's pace, to be honest. So that was the only caveat where if they could shut him down, I don't think Benzema would get the service he would normally get, and I think City would have a much easier time. But if he's out, I think it's going to be really interesting because I think Cancelo and Zinchenko and Ake would all have like a very tough time with him.
Yeah, not to mention obviously again with Benzema, cutting in and out of the side, and Modric just being able to play a pass like anybody. Has Ruben Diaz lost his place in the side for Man City?
He's been injured, long-standing hamstring injury.
Yeah. So he's been able to come in as a substitute. He just hasn't. Because I'm looking at just the last couple matches here. He's been on the bench, so he's been match fit.
Yeah,
but he's still coming back from injury.
Yeah, so he's just getting back from injury. Obviously, I think Pep is being very cautious because Pep obviously would assume that they're gonna make it to where they have made it to the semis or the final in Champions League. So I think he wants to prolong it until he's like fully match fit and can play a full 90 minutes.
Save him for the big games like against Real Madrid and Newcastle.
Yeah, or Newcastle. Yeah,
guys, I'm convinced I'm buying a Newcastle jersey now.
You're gonna have to.
I just don't want to pay shipping. You guys want to pay the shipping for me?
Sure.
All right, this is like $45 in shipping.
From wherever.
From the tune.
Yeah.
From from the shores of Newcastle to Tecumseh, Ontario, Canada.
Actually.
Just a shout out for my boys for Chelsea a little bit. I mean, I touched on them at the beginning of the podcast. Having the Champions League match that they did, being able to come back from that and play an FA Cup game again against a side like Crystal Palace, you would expect Chelsea to win, obviously, but it was still a hard-fought game. And where'd it go? I'm trying to find it. Still a hard-fought game against Crystal Palace. I mean, another London rivalry team. They always play tough against the likes of Chelsea and Arsenal and Tottenham. And for Ruben Loftus-Cheek to kind of get the starts that he's had and the playing time that he's had, he's finally showing himself a little bit more as a Chelsea player. He's been there for so long. He's been on loan for so many years as well. Mm-hmm. And with Kovacic being injured now, and with N'Golo Kante, I almost said Antonio Conte, with N'Golo Kante being injured as well and being more of a defensive minded player, clearly Chelsea was kind of lacking that attacking side through the middle of the pitch, and Loftus-Cheek being able to get a bunch of playing time. He did play against Real Madrid, I think, in both legs, and to get the start here and to get a nice goal in the 65th minute to propel Chelsea to the 1-0 lead, and then Mason Mount being again one of Chelsea's players of the season, wrapping the game up in the 76th minute to score to put the game away 2-0 for Chelsea. It was just good to see, again, like the youth academy players and the younger players for Chelsea really coming through clutch when they have to be. Mm-hmm. And even though I said that it's been a tough season with the lack of play from Lukaku, it's almost like Chelsea's like winning in spite of him now.
Yeah.
Because I believe he was available for this game. He did. Okay, he came in later on. Mm-hmm. I think he came in like garbage time minutes. I think it was already 2-0 at this point. Yes, it was. Mason Mount scored in the 76th, and then Lukaku came on for like 13 minutes and ran around the pitch. Yeah. And he missed a sitter from 5 feet away. That's when I texted you guys saying that he just stinks.
Yeah.
It was literally, again, another great effort from Timo Werner playing full 90 minutes. He drove the baseline, passed it out to Lukaku directly in front of the net. He just redirects it off the post.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
this guy.
How? Just get a goal, man. Any way you can, get a goal, please. He's got less than 10 goals this season. He's getting outscored by Jorginho, who's only scored PKs this year. It's just such a frustrating year. And again, I don't want to harp on my team so much, even like when they win, but it's just the little things that if this team can perfect this, perfect that, just improve on, this a little bit, they can be such a better team than what they actually are. Mm-hmm. And just be more competitive. And it's just converting chances. And it's the frustrating part about them, because they'll try and build up the play. They'll try and do what they can. They'll play the tiki-taka Barcelona stuff, which kind of drives me nuts. But then once they get the opportunity to score, they just don't. Mm-hmm. They'll do 99% of everything right, and they just won't score. It's very frustrating.
Yeah. I mean, it's going to be interesting to see how the Lukaku saga unfolds when the season's done.
I was so happy. I was so incredibly happy when they signed him.
Yeah, I know.
I'm like, he's back. Like, I was like, listening to our first ever episode of this podcast, and you can see how happy I was. And it's just been darkness and sadness ever since.
Yeah. Wasn't expecting this.
No.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if he does leave. I don't know where he goes from here, but
I heard he wants to go back to Inter. That's where he had his best ever seasons, really. Winning the title with them, winning the Scudetto, and again, like being the guy, being the man.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It'd be very, very another bad business by Chelsea.
Oh God! And
Pay how much
right now?
Just
Add it to the list.
Pay how?
That was like 100.
But they sold Lukaku way back in the day.
For like 30.
Bought him back for a lot.
100.
Now they're gonna sell him back to Inter
30
for less.
Yeah, they're gonna lose both times. Like, yeah, they're gonna sell him twice and lose money, like in total. Like
amazing.
Net loss of 40 million from 2 transfers. For
for the same
from selling
person.
it twice. Ugh, terrible.
Lose hundreds of millions on the same
Like
transfer.
I just
the
said,
same
as
person.
if Chelsea needs any more financial, strife in their side right now with what's going on. I don't know if we're gonna have a team next year. Like honestly, we were just fold.
Chelsea's gonna fold next year.
We're gonna fold for a new club. Like, Lampard's just gonna like buy the team for like nothing, and then just start off in like I don't know,
League
Division 4 or something with the likes of Wrexham.
Chelsea's gonna fold.
Tweet comes up by Chelsea. Oh, it's been not from much deliberation that we as Chelsea have had to fold the club.
Seriously though,
Can't get 11 guys to come out.
I mean, if Ryan Reynolds can buy Wrexham, I mean, if Will Ferrell can buy Chelsea. Will Ferrell's a huge Chelsea supporter.
Yeah.
Maybe I remember that really bad movie that he made, the Holmes and Watson. Did you see that one?
I didn't see it. I just saw it.
I didn't see it either.
Awful.
I don't want to be on the record for saying it that I saw it. But I remember there was a match. It was him and John C. Reilly, his co-star in that movie, and they were at Stamford Bridge promoting that movie, and they were done up in like basically Sherlock Holmes gear. It was hilarious.
Yeah.
They both had like full mustaches on. They had like the fedoras on. I think they had like the monocle, like one little glass eyeglass thing, and they're just like sitting in the stands in like a 4-piece suit. It was hilarious. It was for promoting from that movie.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah, Will Ferrell, he's like come out and say he's a huge Chelsea supporter. So maybe he can fund the team.
Yeah. Who knows?
I know there's talks of I think the Chicago Cubs the Chicago Cubs owner is maybe trying to buy the team. The Boston Celtics owner, I think, maybe said too wants to buy the team. So they have people interested. It's just gotta be for the right price, and I think the price is dropping.
Mm-hmm.
If anything,
I would imagine,
because I think I'm not totally sure, but I feel like the FA has kind of taken a lot of control on the finances, and they're basically limiting what Abramovich can profit from selling the team.
Yeah.
So it's like no matter what he sells it for, they're gonna drop the price of the team so that he can't profit that much money, or whatever they sell it for. His stake or his percentage of what the profit is will be so low that like he's gonna lose money. They're basically just trying to hurt him.
Yeah.
The FA is trying to get money, and they're trying to hurt Abramovich for his involvement in whatever he did with Russia. But I don't know. I just want my team to have a home next year and to have someone with some guidance.
Yeah.
Because I think the pieces are there. I think Tuchel's a good manager. I just think, again, we're maybe 1 or 2 guys away. Whoever that is, I don't know. But we're 1 or 2 guys away from having like a really solid squad where we can put out a starting 11 every week that's like really competitive.
Yeah.
With the likes of Man City and Liverpool. Because that's the thing. Chelsea has depth, but they don't have the world-class depth.
Yeah.
Like bringing Pulisic on is great, but he's really streaky. Bringing Hakim Ziyech on is great, but he's really streaky. You look at Liverpool, and they got Firmino coming off the bench who can score all the time. Man City has Mahrez or Sterling or Grealish coming off the bench all the time who can score and provide for your team. Chelsea defensively, Grealish. I think. Grealish maybe hit or miss.
It's Sterling,
but I mean, it's just the pedigree of this of the players coming in though. And then defensively, I think Chelsea is great. I think Chelsea's really well structured defensively. If they can lock up Rudiger, I know they've had a lot of contract talks in the last few months. I think they should spend the money on him and just give it to him. He's been playing every single game basically all season. I don't think he's missed a game, even in all competitions, FA Cup, Carabao Cup, whatever it is. He's played almost 90 minutes every game, and he's performing. He's scoring on one end, and he's defending goals on the other. So
yeah,
I think they should lock him up for sure. And then the aging players like Azpilicueta, like he's going to start seeing his way out. Thiago Silva, he hasn't played as much, but he's going to start seeing his way out. But then you have the likes of Chalobah, you have Reece James, Ben Chilwell when he gets healthy. Maybe they could bring in one guy just to maybe, push Rudiger. 'Cause I think Christensen's going to Roma next year. I think Andreas Christensen.
Yeah.
I think he's signing with Roma.
Okay.
I didn't know that.
Or maybe it was somebody else. Maybe with Dortmund. I can't remember. He's signing somewhere. I think next season. He's already they've already put it on paper. So they're going to lose him. But again, he hasn't played in so long.
Yeah.
So maybe just bring in one guy defensively. But other than that, man, I think they're pretty solid.
Yeah.
Maybe a playmaker in the middle, but give Mount more time, more responsibility. I think he can perform as well.
Yeah. Yeah, they have all the makings there. They just gotta obviously figure out the whole dynamic of what's gonna happen with the team and make some changes. And they want to be back to title contenders. So hopefully, whoever comes in as a new owner can work with Tuchel and the board and figure out how they're gonna do that.
Yeah, and then like we talked about before with Man United, them being more as like a money making club.
Yeah,
that's one thing. But whoever comes in at Chelsea, I hope they actually want to win.
Yeah,
I hope they want to invest money in the right ways, not just from a marketing campaign and a branding standpoint. I hope they want to invest in Chelsea to win titles, to win Champions League, to win the Premier League. I love winning Champions League. That's obviously amazing. It's the biggest European pedigree you can get, but I think there's more in it from winning the title too. I don't know if that's just because I'm being selfish, because Chelsea has won twice in my lifetime, but I just love winning the Premier League title. Because it's an entire year grind. There's so much more involved than winning Champions League. Yes, Champions League, you're playing against the top sides in all of the countries involved in Europe. And again, like the pedigree is amazing, but you're playing one or two games every, 3 months or something sometimes.
Yeah.
Premier League title, man, you're going from August to May, like nonstop. 2 games a week sometimes, 3 games a week sometimes, like a Monday, Thursday, Sunday. That grind, I think, is way more strenuous on the team. And I think you have to build a team more to win the Premier League title than you have to build a team to win the Champions League. Because, again, Champions League, you can catch fire and kind of win at any point.
Yeah.
Like we've seen it before with, like, underdog stories. Like Porto winning with Mourinho.
Yeah.
Dortmund getting the final with Klopp, I think, before he went to Liverpool. You can just have, like, the right team at the right time and get through Champions League. Even Chelsea, actually, with Liverpool with Tuchel and Lampard. They weren't the best team to win.
Yeah.
But they just caught fire at the right time and they won. Premier League, though, I just take way more out of it.
Yeah, because you don't accidentally win the EPL title.
Leicester?
Well, that's the thing.
I knew you were going to say it, Joe. I take it away from you.
They performed week in, week out. They beat all the top teams.
They did.
Yeah. It was the perfect year for them because the other top teams were just not. None of them were on that year. City was off. Tottenham was the biggest threat, and they did not get it done. So it was like the perfect year. They got 80-some points that year.
Yeah.
I think so. I think it was the lowest.
That's crazy too when you think about it. I kind of forgot about that.
Yeah, it just shows how the other 4 teams just were not winning consistently.
And because they're also preoccupied with Champions League.
Yeah.
It'd be actually interesting to know who won Champions League that year. That might have been a Bayern Munich year.
Think so.
Just guessing. Let's go, Jamie. Work the fingers.
Yeah.
Was it 2015? 2016?
It was 2015-2016 season. Yeah, okay, Leicester won with 81 points. Arsenal did eventually finish second with 71. Tottenham, last 5 games, they had 2 losses, 2 draws, and a win. I think Tottenham kind of lost steam after Leicester secured it. Oh, Real Madrid won Champions League that year.
Okay, it was Madrid.
Yeah, Liverpool finished 8th that year. Chelsea finished 10th.
Yeah, that was a Chelsea fall off. Chelsea won the year before and then finished in 10th.
Yeah, Man U finished 5th. City was 4th. Arsenal 2nd.
You said that Arsenal was second with 71 points?
Yeah.
Right now, Liverpool is second with 73 with 7 games to play.
Yeah, it was...
with possibly 21 more points on the cards for Liverpool.
Yeah, it was...
Wow.
Like 81 points. They had 23 wins, 12 draws, and 3 losses, and they won the title. I remember the days of Sir Alex Ferguson. Man U would win the title with 35 wins, 2 draws, and 1 loss.
They'd have 2 months in hand of like the next place team to clinch it.
Back in the glory days of Man U.
Even the last couple of years, though, it's been like around 100 points. This year won't be 100.
I don't think so.
It's been close to like in the mid 90s to 100.
Yeah.
This year, Man City, if they do win out, they would have 95.
Yeah.
We'll see if that happens. Just to wrap it up here, well, we got games, like I said, midweek, bunch of makeup games on the schedule, dating from Tuesday to Thursday, highlighted by Liverpool Man U. That's tomorrow on the Tuesday at 3:00. Chelsea Arsenal on the Wednesday at 2:45. And I mean, Man City does play on Wednesday as well against Brighton. I'm sure they'll take a victory there. And then Matchday 34 officially also kicks off this Saturday. Arsenal Man U, the early game Saturday morning, 7:30. Chelsea West Ham, London Derby game on Sunday at 9:00. And Liverpool Everton facing off against each other at Anfield. Again, the Merseyside Derby. Definitely one of the games to watch. I'd probably say the Arsenal Man U one has the highest stakes, just for both clubs because they're so close to each other on points at the top of the table. But the most emotional, the most passionate game, the game I definitely will not miss, will be the Liverpool Everton game.
Yep.
11:30 on Sunday the 24th.
Yeah, it's gonna be a good one.
Yeah, that's gonna be huge, man. I hope Everton pulls it out. Again, it's gonna really hurt Liverpool, like we touched on. This could be like Everton's biggest fuck you of all time if they're able to win this game, plus hurt Liverpool's title chances. Man City playing against Watford on Saturday. You would think they'd come away with a victory on that one and already be 4 points ahead going into the Sunday match for Liverpool to look at. But yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, it's gonna be
We
good.
shall see. Joe, you got anything to touch on?
No, think we're good to go. Yeah, good.
Santiago?
Good.
All right. I want to thank everyone for listening. As always, you can find us on Twitter, Instagram, YouTube at @footy_fans. Fans spelled PHANS. As always, we will tune into next week after all week's action.
Sounds good. See ya. Bye, everyone.
Ciao, guys.